I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Rico back at it again. You know what time it is, man. It's the Buffalo Fanatics Rico Report. Tuesday, but not your typical Tuesday, man. It is your Victory Tuesday. The Bills get to enjoy themselves a little bit after putting on a little show for the fans in Buffalo, putting on a show for the home crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bills seem to have solidified themselves as the hottest team in the NFL. Should I even put a question mark towards that? I don't think so, because they are the hottest team in the NFL. And what proved it was the performance they put on against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me tell you this. There's going to come a time where Josh Allen is going to have to get a real good realtor, because that realtor is going to have to get himself some property in Miami, Florida. He's going to have to get himself property in Jacksonville. And I know some folks might say, well, Rico, the last couple of times, bump all that. We were in London. All right, we were in London, right? He's going to get himself some property in Florida. I mean, the whole state, that's his now. Is his now. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. And we got a good one for you guys today. I mean, we kind of recap what took place last night, the things that the media are talking about. Boy, oh boy, the media be talking. Oh, they are talking, and they are loving what the Buffalo Bills are doing, right? We were quiet as kept. We kept our nose to the ground. We grinded all offseason. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have the money to bring in the flashy free agents, but here we are, 3-0. And now they asking questions. Why are you asking questions? Why are you asking questions? You ain't got to ask all those questions, man. Just watch what we do. And we just keep stacking wins after win after win. So love what I'm seeing from these Bills. But you know what? I can sit here and talk to you for about an hour and a half by myself. You guys are already used to me. But guess what? We got a familiar face back on the show. I wish I had some introduction music for my guy. But you know what? We're going to bring him on anyway. Shout out to my guy, Carl Jones, back at it again. Carl, good sir. How are you?
I'm good, my man. Glad to be back.
Man, it is good to have you back. I know some of the folks, they've been asking, where Carl Jones at? Look, Carl Jones is back and ready to roll. Folks, listen, and I guess I can say, Carl Jones got a new role, a much improved role, a much more visible role. And you are now watching these guys on the daily. You're going to the games now. Can you give us a little bit of what you've been seeing, and what you've been seeing? Has it translated, right? You saw them all off season. Now you've seen this 3-0. Surprised? Or is this, nah, man, I saw this?
I think to say that you anticipated the Bills beating the crap out of the Jaguars and Dolphins and then coming from behind against the Cardinals week 1, I think to sit up here and say that is kind of, you be a little cap with that, a little lying with that. But this entire offseason, though, I really hate cliches, vibes, and energy. But it truly has been that type of situation from the day we saw them in May, and today, where there's a certain type of, camaraderie, or a certain type of, man, I'm glad to be here, glad to be around the guys and the fellas. And you saw that yesterday, not just the play on the field, but just how celebratory they were, and the vibes after, the Mr. Brightside thing that they did in between the third and fourth quarter. It's a true just high that they're playing with right now that's really cool to watch.
This Mr. Brightside, I was like, I wasn't sure what song that was until I started to really listen to it. And it was, I can see. It's kind of like the Steelers. The Steelers have this song that they play, and they get the towels going. And it's one of those bangers that you just, when you see that thing going, the Steelers can get it popping. So Mr. Brightside might be the one that replaces us. If we're up a whole lot, you better bump that Mr. Brightside. That's what it looks like. So I'm happy to actually have you on the show. I'm happy that you get to see these things, and you could be, the kind of the eyes that, the Buffalo Fanatics fans don't get to see. So our guy, Carl Jones, in the building and letting us know. So good to have you back. So let's get right into the nitty gritty of what's happening right now. So the Jags, let's get on to the Jags, man. We talk about the overrated chatter, and I know it was silly. The Josh Allen's overrated, this other thing. We know that's silly, but let's talk about something that's really going on. Yo, Trevor Lawrence, Overrated? Is he the epitome of overrated? Or is it just a bad situation?
When you say overrated, I don't know who puts him in that light as to where he was 4 years ago coming out in 2021. I think if you still have those conversations where he's this generational prospect. Listen, I played against the dude at Clemson and I saw him at 18 years old and I know the hype, right? Like I knew him when he was a high school kid. So trust me, like if there's anyone who knows about the hype around Trevor Lawrence, I saw the dude when he was the guy at 18 years old. Exactly. So, but I think if you properly rate him to where he is now as a good, but not necessarily a tractor, right? Someone who can elevate the franchise based off his play alone. I think that is not the case whatsoever anymore. And listen, I know that he didn't play well yesterday. Don't take someone with like a analyst that say that, but the situation around him is not stellar at all. I mean, you don't lose, I believe, 8 out of 9 regular season games dating back to last year without some dysfunction going on that side of the ball. So overrated, sure, depending on how you view him, but that situation is not pretty over there at all.
It isn't pretty, and you want these generational talent, because that's what it was, right? Trevor Lawrence. We don't get to see a guy like Trevor Lawrence as often. He can sling the rock and he's athletic, and he is athletic. He can take off if he wants to, but there comes a time where we can't be referring back to the Trevor Lawrence that was the guy that rallied his team on his back and took the Chargers down when they had no business winning that game, and they did, and they looked great, and et cetera, et cetera. What's he done since? Not a whole lot. So it's like, fam, you kind of feel for him, but at the same time you don't, because they just gave you a bevy of weapons. Travis Etienne ain't no slouch, right? You got Gabe Davis, that's done some work in this league. Calvin Ridley, fresh legs. Calvin Ridley. I mean, what more do you want? Christian Kirk is doing your thing. Evan Ingram, you got some weapons. Doug Peterson, a Super Bowl winning coach. What more do you need? So is it time for some folks to say, hey, man, off that pedestal you go, man. You can't be in there. You're now in the tier of like, yeah,
I think that's the way. I've viewed him like that since last year, and I guess the public has started to recalibrate things and put him in that situation as well. Like I would put him like a notch above Tua, but if you put him in that same bracket, be my guest. Like I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But I will say, you watch that game back, and I watched it today. It's more than just him. Like it's more than just him. And I see that question at the bottom, Walter. Is he worth anything worth his contract? That's not up for me to decide, because listen, if he hits the open market right now, there's like 12 teams who will give him $55 million besides the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is just the way that works in the NFL. And I'm not here to say, like, I do think that there needs to be a market correction on quarterback contracts, because I do think these quarterbacks have some of these teams, kind of in a chokehold to a certain extent, because they're scared to go to quarterback graveyard, where they lose a okay guy and then they go back, and now you're recycling the objectively poor quarterback. So is he worth what you got? Probably not on paper, but you telling me the Giants wouldn't do the same thing? You telling me that the Raiders wouldn't do the same thing? You telling me that Cleveland wouldn't do this? Like, there are a bunch of teams who would say, we'll try to fix him, or try to see what he has. So, and
that's what it is normally. It's usually females will do that, right? So, I mean, there's a guy and they say, I can fix him into the right guy, and there's always these quarterback whisperers or these GMs that feel like, you know what, let me take a chance on. Brandon Beane is kind of like that. Brandon Beane is one of those guys that he'll take a second chance on a guy and say, you know what, I see some things. I was scouting him earlier. He went somewhere else, and they've discarded him. I think I can kind of figure some things out. But $55 million, that's a lot of money for a guy that's, 8 and 9 have lost. Mm-hmm. It's like, and it's not like the defense is who to blame, right? He's throwing the, like, listen, you're giving the ball up, you do all those things, but it's sad because $55 million. Then you got Dak Prescott that got $60 million. I mean, shoot, I mean, obviously Dak is worth more than what he's doing for the Dallas Cowboys than Trevor Lawrence is, but golly, it's not looking good. But anyway, enough of these Jaguars. Let's get on to these Bills, because defensively, we're going to jump on the defensive side of the ball. Defensively, what in the heck are they doing that's just so effective? Is it the Babich, I guess, the Babich approach? Does he bring a little something different to this defense? Or is it just this McDermott scheme is just that great? The system is that great? Or is there something that's been added by Babich that's got this thing kind of charged up, if you will?
I do know that the players really enjoy Babich's energy. And I know before
Mm,
we touch into anything schematically, you bring up Bobby Babich to any of the defensive players and their eyes light up. They have nothing but great things to say about him. They say he's a younger coach, so they can relate to him a little bit better. He wakes up in the morning and he's just ready to go. Like he's one of them coaches. And as anyone who's ever played sports, those type of coaches you really want to play for because
facts.
they don't ever have an off day. There's no off switch. He's always going to break it. And even at practice, there's no off button with him. He's always coaching. He's always on the move, yelling, whatever the case may be. And you can really appreciate that as a player, especially if he knows what he's talking about. It's one thing if he's just yelling at you. You're like, all right, bro, deaf ears. But when you know what he's talking about and you've seen the fact that he's been the coach of rooms that is producing all pros like a Micah Hyde or Jordan Poyer, and the same thing with him at Milano a couple years back, as a player that's receptive to you. So I think he deserves his just due. And then also Sean McDermott, I think his pedigree speaks for himself over the past X amount of years. He's been in Buffalo with the creative stuff they do on defense.
Man, listen, let me tell you something, man. Because I'm looking at this defense and I'm looking at how their identity hasn't changed as much, but there is a little bit of a nasty and it's something to it. I want to go to the defensive backroom. The defensive backroom, who is the leader in the defensive backroom? Because you got Rasul Douglas, which I would assume would be, that top guy, the veteran guy. You got Douglas, you got Benford, Ham, you got Rapp. Like who's the guy that kind of 1, 2, 3 break, and it's on him. It's on that guy. Who's the leader in that defensive backroom?
I mean, you can throw Taryn into that conversation as well. I know as a DB myself, I would be forgetting that he's a legit defensive back.
For sure. 100%.
But I would say it's a combination of him and Rasul with how they're more vocal bunch. But I don't think it's a alpha in the room, like follow my lead and follow me guys to war. I think they truly all bring something valuable to the table because if you think about it, DeMar Hamlin has been there for a while. So he knows what he's talking about. He knows the expectation and the standard. Taylor Rapp has been in this league for a decent amount of time. Mm-hmm. Christian Benford, his play speaks for itself. And Rasul has obviously been around for, I believe, 2016 or 17. And then same thing that goes for Rasul as well. So, I mean, Christian. So the point being, though, I don't know if this is a one leader like everyone.
Right, for sure.
I just think they all bring something unique to the table that allows them to excel out there on the field.
We got to talk about this one player. And you and I have talked about this player. You have been kind of charging me up a little bit to say, hey, man, this guy you ought to watch out from. And he has now become my favorite Bill on the squad. Stephon Diggs was my favorite Bill on the squad. I love Josh Allen. We all love Josh Allen. But my favorite was Stephon Diggs. But my favorite Bill now, bro, Christian freaking Benford, bro. You put me on. You said, this brother is nice. Please explain to me what you've seen from him that's just got him like a top corner on this team. I gotta find it as you talk about him. But Christian Benford, what's taken place? He's solidified himself as top dog on this defense. What has transpired? Talk to me about Christian Benford and what you've seen from camp all the way into week 3.
Well, since he was a rookie 2 years ago, he was always a good player. It wasn't like he came into the league. Like, you don't start as a 6th-round pick as some scrub. Like, let's make that abundantly clear, especially starting over Kyer Elam, who was the 1st-round pick. So you clearly bring something to the table as a rookie, and he's done nothing but get better. But I think I tweeted it earlier. He made a leap this year in 2 departments. One, he was always good in zone coverage. It was his calling card coming out of Villanova. He always had good feel. But he's taken a step in terms of route recognition and route feel and route depth. Like, he knows, like, just think about the interception that he forced last Thursday night,
yes,
where he broke on it so clean. He knew that at around that 20-yard mark, this dig got to be coming. Like, it's either a go or a dig at this point. And he broke on it like the damn receiver did. Better than the receiver did, quite frankly, and forced an interception that Jamarcus Ingram got. But outside of his zone coverage, I thought that he was a solid guy in man coverage, solid at best. But I think this year he's truly taken a leap in that. And I think it just comes to that mental clock that I've spoken to you about. At cornerback, it's all about just playing calm and slow. And when we're looking at the screen right here, Brian Thomas Jr. can fly. We all saw it coming out of LSU. The dude that can run a 4.3. He can legit float. But the fact that you use your technique, pedal, crossover, run, stab, and get out of the break, that is something that truly, like, you either can do that or you don't. And that's all up here. I mean, Christian Benford's a dog. I mean, you look at his life story and how he's gotten here. I think because of the fact that the Bills play a lot of zone, he doesn't maybe get the just due he deserves nationally. But I caution everyone to say this, and you can take this back to whatever lunchroom table where you be debating at. Just because you play zone coverage does not mean that it doesn't convert to man at some point during the route. This is cover 4 right here. This turned into man coverage. So, like, don't tell me that he sits in zone all day and he's not guarding guys one-on-one. Sure, it's not press coverage all day, and it's not what Patrick Surtain has to do or some of those other guys. That's man coverage right there. He ain't floating in no zone, y'all. So, like, I think I'm not here to rank Christian Benford where he is across the league. I got too much respect for the cornerback's position to do that without watching every guy. But I do know, I don't care who it is. I don't think that when you put him across from any receiver in the league, that you're like, holy shit, we're outmatched. I think he can hold his own against just about anyone in the league.
Absolutely freaking right. And I love, you see, there's players that you're excited about. I think it's because of the position you played. It's like a light was shining on your face because when you were talking about, hey man, when you're playing cover 4, at one point it does turn into man. So you got to get on your horse and show, those hips look good. He was twisting. He plugged, plant, get in there, identify where the ball was at. Listen, this is the type of corner you want. And we're not even talking about Rasul Douglas. That's like that on the other side. Bro, I'm absolutely excited about what this defensive backfield brings to the table. And I'm not quite sure the league is understanding what they have here. These boys, they're good. I was actually thinking at the beginning of the season, I was like, man, Rasul Douglas, I mean, he's a little older, so they're probably going to transition into Kyu Elam jumping in on there and all that good. Bro, he might parlay himself into a contract to make him stay in Buffalo. Real talk, right? So it's just going to be a matter of time until these guys start being recognized. Rasul's already got a name around the league. Christian Benford is soon going to get his name recognized. And listen, that might parlay him into a little something in the bank department. So we shall see, man. So next department I want to jump into real quick is winners and losers, man. And we normally come up with winners and losers. And this is off the cuff, by the way. So I didn't really prep you on this whatsoever. So, but going back and taking a look at what this game brought to your attention and who looked good, who did not, who stood out, who made a name for themselves, who didn't. And that's coming from both sides, the Jags and the Bills. Winners and losers for you. I don't care what direction you decide to go, whether it's losers or winners. Is there something that stands out to you in terms of who won, who lost?
Joe Brady's a winner. He truly is. I think yesterday, he's always shown the ability to do some creative things on offense, but I think yesterday was his moment where it was prime time. So obviously the country was watching, and you're like, nah, he can do some cool stuff here. I know at LSU when he was the OC or whatever role they claimed that he was in 2019, you had Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and Joe Burrow. So you're like, oh my gosh, how much did he actually do? When you watch them live, they actually did creative stuff. I know the Panthers situation didn't go well, but I've kind of always felt that he was a guy who brings something different than like most offensive coordinators. And yesterday, he really had like the Jags at his will, like at his mercy. Like, I understand you need the personnel to make things work, but there's also a coach who coaches to his personnel. And what I mean by that, when we look at the Keon Coleman touchdown, right?
Yes.
I think it doesn't take a wise guy to understand that Keon Coleman isn't some A1 route runner. He's not. Like, that's just not his game. And for anyone at home expecting him to be Devontae Adams, he's not. But he can excel in other ways. And for a guy who can't maybe separate like a Devontae Adams or Justin Jefferson, what's one way that you can help them separate? Well, just run from one side of the field to the other. Because as a cornerback, unless you are Deion Sanders or Darrell Green, shout out to Darrell Green, by the way, 90s corner, there ain't nobody who can cut that off. There's not anyone. Like, one-on-one is not possible whatsoever. I don't care who you are. So that's just one way as a coach. I'm going to put my guy in a situation to where maybe I'm not going to ask him to do something he's not good at. And I think that's just one example where he's like, man, he knows KYP, know your personnel, people. Use that abbreviation.
I like that.
KYP. He knows his personnel. And I think that's such an excellent thing. Like, same thing with Khalil Shakir. I think he's a legit weapon at this point. Like, he's probably their top option. He is their top option.
Yep.
They're not using Khalil Shakir like, I don't know, Justin Jefferson or like one of some of these A1 receivers in the league. But you put him in a situation to succeed. Unders, slants, quick outs, bubble screens, hitches. you allow him to use his yak ability, which is one of the best traits in all of football. So when I saw that in Joe Brady, I know I'm getting long-winded, people.
No, you're
That's something that I truly appreciate when the offensive coordinator puts his guys in positions to succeed. Because even when you watch the Jaguars yesterday, you're like, damn, bro, Brian Thomas Jr. can fly. Why are y'all running him on quick outs? I say all that to say, Joe Brady, masterclass yesterday.
You know what? There's a running. I mean, I don't want to say it's a running joke. It's not a joke because Joe Brady he's known. They know who he is around the league. Well, I mean, they were playing with him. I mean, we're not gonna. You're on the Panthers. We still don't think you're good with the Panthers with that bum Rhett. I forgot his name. Was it the coach that was and he got let go and went to Nebraska?
Matt Rule.
I said Rhett. Matt Rule. He's making decisions out there. You're not good enough to be on the squad. You're not good enough to be on the squad. You're talking about me not good enough. And they did him a favor. And right now, you're absolutely correct. He is absolutely a winner, and he might win himself a head coaching job in the next 2 years. And that is going to be somewhat bittersweet for the Bills because, I mean, at that point, I hope we win one. So that way we can kind of send them off. We got a championship. But, I mean, listen, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me chill out. So let me stick on to this winners and losers camp, and I'm going to stick on the winners. Dorian Williams, unsure about Dorian Williams because raw, but just physical talent. But they saw something in him, the product out of Tulane. They felt that he could bring something to the table. And Matt Milano going down, you're like, okay, not the end of the world. We got Terrell Bernard, put him aside. Dorian Williams, they'll develop together. They'll be fine. There goes Terrell Bernard. Now you got Bailey Spector and Dorian Williams. That kind of makes you kind of go, ooh, this is not what I had on my bingo card to go ahead and watch these two play linebacker. But, buddy, Dorian Williams in coverage yesterday against, I think it was Travis Etienne, was stride for stride, hip on hip, and was with him right to the end zone. I was like, who the heck is that? Dorian freaking Williams. And you let him meet you in the gap, he will smack the living heck out of you. Dorian Williams absolutely made himself a winner in this game. He led all tackles on the Bills team with what I think it was 11 tackles total, 8 solo tackles on his own. My man was balling. Big shout out to my man Dorian Williams. And the reason I say he won is because he's gaining such valuable reps right now. He's gaining valuable playing time. So by the time Terrell Bernard returns, by the time Matt Milano returns, you got 3 bona fide studs at linebacker. Big time winner, in my opinion. Dorian Williams absolutely deserves the love that he's getting from me right now. Winner, absolute winner in this. I pass it back to you. Winners, losers, anybody stand out to you?
I'm going to stick with the winners. We mentioned them. I think Khalil Shakir needs his just due. I'm not really in, like I said, you know my style. I'm not here to say Khalil Shakir is top 5, 10, 15, 20. But I do know for what the Buffalo Bills ask him to do, he is their wide receiver 1. Like, for what they ask of him, it doesn't get much better. And I'm not comparing him to nobody else. You know me.
Of course.
But, hey, man, third down, win underneath. Can you do it? Can you turn 5 into 15 or sometimes 20? Can you sometimes make the difficult catch and you might get hit in the mouth, but you're going to hold on to it, right? Can you take a quick bubble and turn 0 into 7? There is value in that and being a dependable receiver. And we saw it once again yesterday. I know everyone – listen, I'm at all the press conferences. I hear that everybody eats stink all the time, and we saw it on full display yesterday. But don't get it twisted. Khalil Shakir is taking most of the damn plate here. All right, he's getting the main entree. Like, if we got, like, chicken with, like, mac and cheese, collard greens, and, like, pie, he's getting the chicken. All right, like, he ain't sharing that part with everybody else. So, like, I think that we saw it yesterday, and we saw it during camp into the first part of the season. He is their guy right now, and he showed it on primetime TV.
It's so funny that you brought it up because I was talking to one of my homies, James. He's probably in the chat right now, and we were talking about this everybody eats, and I was like, yo, I'm not buying this everybody eats. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. Why? And it wasn't because I don't believe it. I do believe everybody's going to get their piece. There's not one single guy. But the analogy I used was old school days when daddy got home from work, you know what I'm saying? And he sat at the table. All the kids are going to eat. Don't get me wrong. But daddy's plate's going to be a little more full than all the others because I worked a long day. I needs my food. So, and to me, Khalil is going to be the guy that sits at the table like, yo, everybody's going to eat. But when push comes to shove and I need you to get 5 and you get me 25, bro, that's the guy I count on. And Khalil, and I think we all knew this, right? It's nothing new. We knew that this guy was going to emerge, but I love that you put him in one of your winners because he is that guy, man. He's going to get better. That's the sickening part. He's only going to get better. He's 14 targets this year, 14 receptions, hasn't dropped a damn thing. And it's not like Josh Allen's been throwing some pretty balls now. And before you'd have to make a kind of a tough catch. Josh Allen's been putting it on the money for these guys, so it's making it a lot easier. So big shout out to Khalil. All right, man, you gave me a good one with Khalil. So let me stick on the offensive side of the ball. And winners, I'm gonna go the O-line. The offensive line absolutely deserves flowers. More specifically, the bookend tackles, Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown. Spencer Brown, I saw a ridiculous stat. I'm sure you saw the same stat, right? 35 snaps on pass, not a single pressure. And not just this game. This is last game as well. He held Jalen Phillips in check. Listen, this man has earned his contract. You have a healthy right tackle, and he's holding it down right now. There used to be a point where we were like, we're not sure about Spencer Brown because, listen, there is no question how well he's doing. Deion Dawkins is holding it down. You can tell Deion Dawkins is looking to gain an all-pro this year. I heard him. He snuck in a all-pro schno. I know he wants something. I know he's looking for something. But the O-line altogether, Steibel, you got Edwards, you got McGovern. Yo, they're all coming together. And what I love most is they're keeping Josh Allen upright. They're keeping him upright. When you got Allen faking, coming back, going right, bro, that means you got time. You got time. So big shout out to the O-line. The O-line has been doing a great job, not only protecting Josh Allen, boy, they're moving bodies. They are moving bodies and allowing these guys to run. Another game of over 100 yards rushing. We continue to move the pile. We continue to be a balanced offense. There's been a more big shout out to Joe Brady, making us a balanced offense where you don't know where we're going to go. So I love it. O-line, credit deserves to be going to the O-line. Big shout out to them. I got one more. Do you have anybody on the loser side, either from the Jags or the Bills, or you want to keep it at that?
I do just want to mention the Jaguars for a second here. I want to preface this by saying, having played like in college and been around some supreme athletes, I don't like using the word soft or quitting or anything like that. Just because I know this game is too damn violent and crazy to call someone like that. But what I will say, what I saw yesterday from the Jags, I think was the closest thing to that keyword. Like it was so close to that keyword, like quit. And I think that's a ringing indictment of the coaching staff. It truly is. And I got too much respect for players in the league to ever say that. Other people, I have no issue if other people say that. Just for me personally, I don't do it. And it didn't sit right with me the way that they, whatever the case may be, whether there was a lack of preparedness, some of the stuff I saw some business decisions in that fourth quarter. And listen, I've been there before. I've made business decisions myself. Right. But it just didn't sit right with me, man. And I know that the Bills played stupendous, A++, add another plus to it. But man, whatever, and I think that falls on the coaching staff, at any level of ball, whether it's basketball, track, whatever. When a team shows that type of effort, it falls back on the staff. And that, take apart the fact that Josh Allen looked like the best damn player on the planet yesterday. Yeah, man. That was not good to see.
Listen, I get it. And you know what? They're going to go through their lumps. So some teams, players, all that are going to go through the lumps. And let me see if I can try to find losers in this whole situation. You know what? It's an easy one, but it's there. The loser in this for me is obviously Jacksonville Jaguars franchise as a whole, right? The whole franchise. It looked like you guys, the owner was saying this is the best team that's ever been put together. Really? You guys are 0-3, my guy? As an owner, you're sitting there looking like, bro, I thought we had something together. Hey, GM, what's going on, man? We talked about this. This is the best. We put the receiving core together. We got a better defense. What's going on? And they had no answers. Coach is sitting there like, we just got to get back to it. Can't feel sorry for yourself. Ain't nobody going to feel sorry for us. We just got to get back to it. And you feel bad for them because this could be their season. 0-3, and it's so early in the season, but what a crucial game this was for the Jaguars. They needed this win, and they didn't get it. They are the losers in this, and literally they lost. And if you look at the whole situation, the big picture of it, they're losers altogether because now you got to climb out of a hole where you got Anthony Richardson that's still learning and developing, and they got a good run game out there. You got the Houston Texans that's slated to win this whole thing. I don't know what the heck Tennessee's doing with Will Levis. I don't know what's going on. That's a good team, but Will Levis keeps just not keeping them together. So maybe they have a chance, but this AFC is just too talented and too big. You just can't. You just can't do it. So big shout out. Listen, big shout out to my guy Carl coming in and giving us the winners and losers, and great segment. And we got to jump into the next one, man. So you saw the title of my show, and it was about, are the Bills the hottest team in the league? And I ask you, sir, are the Bills the hottest team in the league right now by far, or is anybody matching their sexy right now?
I mean, it's been 3 weeks, and if there's anybody who knows what the hell, like how long a season is as Bills fans, right. Having said that, I don't like. Is there any other like team that you can put in the conversation? Prefaces by saying, I think the Vikings are tough. Like I think that's we want to talk about a coaching staff that like needs their flowers and like upon some more flowers. Love Brian Flores and I love Kevin O'Connell for what they're doing over there. But I just think that when you combine the talent that the Bills have with 17, with the creative stuff that Joe Brady and Sean McDermott and Bobby Babich are doing, I think that they are, at least in the AFC, far and away the best, hottest team. It's 3 weeks, so like
it is 3 weeks.
Like truly, like when I say this though, like I don't give a damn about like February yet. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about right now. But yeah, not even close for sure.
Right. Hey, listen, right now they are the hottest team. Right now, everybody's talking about them. They're trending, and I get it. They were the last team to play, so that's the lasting image that you saw. But also, great game by the Bengals and the Commanders. You got Jane Daniels looking real good. I mean, listen, man, look, I just love the fact that football is back. You know what? Winners, the fans. The fans having to watch football again. Love to see it. And away we go. Now, before we get into our next segment, and we will get into that, we gotta get into some things and pay some bills, if you will. And we got some partners, folks. We've partnered up with Underdog Fantasy. If you guys have not been able to download the app, go ahead and download that app. Listen, man, the fact that football is back and is here to stay until February, this gives you a great opportunity to download the app. So, folks, there are over 1 million fans across 33 states that got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog. You can win up to 1,000 times your money by choosing higher or lower on your favorite players and stats. So if you didn't have a chance to pick Josh Allen, if you didn't have a chance to pick Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty, to go higher on yards or lower on yards, this is your opportunity to jump in there. So, folks, let me tell you something about this Underdog. If you have not had a chance to do it, it's super simple. It's easy, it's fast, and you can get started to play real quick. The sign-up process is smooth. They have a really good mobile app. You can jump in on there. This is at a level of entertainment I've been looking for, and you guys should be looking for that. So, folks, jump in on there and get on there. But here's the thing, folks. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward, and signing up is even easier. Just head over to the Underdog simple-to-use mobile app or underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with the promo BMafia, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. But here's the important thing, man. You got to be 18 or over, 21 or over in Massachusetts and Arizona, 19 in Alabama and Nebraska, and present in state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Listen, terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org in Arizona. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or 1-800-639-8783 or text next step to 53342. In New York, you can also call the 24/7 Hope line, right? At 1-877-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY or 467-369. So, folks, jump on that Underdog, get to business, let's roll. So away we go. So, jumping back into the mix, we talked about the winners and losers. I want to know what you took away from this game. So I'm watching the Bills. I'm watching around the league. And I don't want to just subject you to the Bills and only the Bills. What did you take away? And I want to kind of keep the Bills in this, but what did you take away from the performance of the Bills and what you saw around the league? Did anything stand out to you? maybe in this game or overall in the NFL? What stood out to you, folks?
Offensively, I think they showed that they will have enough answers to some of the questions that we had out there, maybe going against other teams as well. My biggest thing when it comes to offenses and playoff ball, because let's be frank here, the Bills are the type of team where you judge them based on what they do in January and beyond.
Facts.
I think they can play left-handed, and they can do it comfortably. And I think that's where they've kind of been striving to do for the longest time. And there are a bunch of teams who can't do that. You look at Miami, you take away their right hand, they're toast.
They're right.
The Bills, I think, are comfortable, as they've shown, playing left-handed in terms of the fact you want to cap the defense. And for all those at home, I'm sure you've heard the too high shell stuff and all that stuff, whatever. You don't want to take the deep shots. Cool. Josh Allen has gotten to a point where he's matured and he's willing to take that stuff and feels confident with it. And then they also can run the ball because of the offensive line. I think they're like, cool. Our left just as strong as our right now. Hey, now we ain't like one of them boxers who got one crazy like hook. Like we got both of them things. I pack a punch from both of them. So like I think that's really cool. Defensively, I still got some questions just based off of the fact that there's a style of quarterback that can take advantage of some of the stuff that they do schematically. And unfortunately, you only see those guys, a Burrow or Mahomes. But maybe a Stroud, too, I think, is in that conversation in terms of the offseason, in terms of the AFC, excuse me. Having said that, though, the Chiefs are always going to be there as long as 15 is there. I think the Texans have some maturing to do, but it is week 3. We're not even in October. I think they'll be a team as long as they can solidify some of the issues they got on offense. They got like they're trying to figure out some pecking order stuff because Nico Collins is like a top 10 dude, objectively like baller. Like I don't know who. Listen, I hate Michigan. And for all those at home, I'm from Ohio. I can't stand Michigan, so I hated Nico Collins. But that brother can ball. Like, dude, capital B, he nice. He like that.
Him,
all that. So I think they're trying to figure some things out. I think Baltimore with their offensive line. I know their offensive line coach passed away, I believe, in the preseason. So they're figuring out some stuff, lost some offensive linemen. So they'll take some time to figure it out. But I think if we're just speaking on just the AFC, they're up there with everyone just based off the fact that left is just as good as that right. And that's very scary.
Isn't that scary, though? When your left is as good as your right, you don't know what I'm going to do. It's like a ball. You playing basketball, man. Yo, push him right. Nah, bro, I'm going left. Watch me go, right? It's one of those things, man. They used to think that Jordan couldn't go left. So they always tried to push him right. Big mistake. Don't do that to that man. So I get that. Takeaway from me. What did I take away from either in the NFL or, you know what I took away? Every game is different. And I took away this, right? I think you had several teams that were facing 0-3. Backs against the wall, and they delivered. At the end of the day, they delivered. The New York Giants, they come in and say, hey, man, we can't take an L. We got to do something about this. Let's roll, right? You had the LA Rams close to taking that L. They decided to, you know what? We ain't done yet. We got some play. Matthew Stafford, you got to give that boy credit. He's a certified dog, that Matthew Stafford cat.
I don't rank people, but that's top 5, brother, right there. I don't care who else you put nice. He nice. That boy can ball. He can ball.
Matthew Stafford is that dude, man. You got to give him credit, right? I mean, listen, Baltimore, of all teams, facing an 0-3. And I'll tell you, if they went 0-3, it would have been problematic for these guys to climb out of that hole. That 1-2, although still nasty, they got a lot of work to do. But they look good against the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys, I don't even know what to think about that. But what I took away from this is every team that needed to win, they pushed, they gutted it out and made it work. And it goes to tell you, any given Sunday, you can't take anything for granted. To say that the Bills are hot right now, they could, and they can lay an egg next week against the Ravens, right? Or they continue to keep steamrolling team. And these guys have been putting up 30 points a game. Easy. So it's one of the situations what I take away from this is and what these Bills are doing is excellent. 1-0. 1-0. I sound super cliche, but that's been what they've been saying. 1-0. Oh, yeah, we're 1-0 right now. So next game, we're going up against the Ravens, 1-0. So I take away that any given Sunday. I think we all know that any given Sunday. But man, did it stand out for me. Let me go to this to you. There was a clip that was out here, and I gotta get into it, and it'll turn me into the next segment that we get into. So I was listening to the Pat McAfee show, and they got to talking, and They were talking about the Bills. I mean, everybody's talking about the Bills right now. And I'm not even going to give you what the clip is. I'm just going to play the clip, and we can talk it and discuss it soon after. Here is the clip from the Pat McAfee show from this afternoon.
He's most free. Definitely the most happy he's had.
For sure. Without a doubt.
I mean, he's always, we see him at practices. We'll get some viral videos of him dancing, and doing Josh Allen stuff.
Pranking people.
Yeah, he's so funny. And then they'll do like, hey, the best shit talker, who talks the most shit is Josh Allen. So you hear about that? But it just looks like he's a little kid out there. It legitimately looks like he's a little kid, but he's not a little kid.
No.
He can run you over at any given moment and will do that. It's like the
Buffalo Fanatics, what's going on? This is Pierre the Kingpin. And I wanted to talk to you today about Cigars International, which is the ultimate destination for premium homemade cigars. Known as the industry leader, Cigars International offers the largest selection, unbeatable prices, and a customer service experience that's second to none. Whether you're new to cigars or a seasoned vet, Cigars International makes enjoying cigars easy, approachable, and fun. Cigars International is the go-to retailer for all things cigars, with the biggest selection of premium homemade cigars available anywhere. Cigars International offers unbeatable deals and discounts, making it easy to stock up on your favorite or try something new without breaking the bank. With fast free shipping and their 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can shop with confidence knowing that Cigars International stands behind every order. They have good relationship with vendors that helps provide great low prices. Whether you're new to cigars or a seasoned pro, Cigars International makes it easy to find the right cigar with helpful guides, staff reviews, and expert advice. It's not just about cigars. Cigars International also offers a wide range of accessories and more to elevate your smoking experience. Check out the great deals every day at cigarsinternational.com. That's cigars, CIGARS, international.com. Use code FANATICS at checkout for 20% off your order of $50 or more, plus free shipping. Or visit www.cigarsinternational.com/fanatics, and the discount will automatically apply. Again, use code FANATICS at checkout for 20% off your order of $50 or more, plus free shipping. Or visit www.cigarsinternational.com/fanatics, and the discount will automatically apply.
The way he plays, the style in which he plays, so much fun. We're taking shots. We're talking shit. We're running people over. Defense also playing great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now Jacksonville sucks.
They do.
So that
They
is
do.
obviously the iteration of this entire thing. But defense plays phenomenal as well.
Yep.
Do they have it up there in Buffalo, D-Butch, you think, this year? Is this the year the Buffalo Bills get over to... Is this the year that the Buffalo Bills fans have been waiting since the missed kicks? Is this the time whenever they lose Stephon Diggs and they lose a bunch of name players? Jordan Poyer, all pro on the defensive side.
Yeah.
He's gone. There's a lot of people that leave. Is this the time for the Buffalo Bills?
Calling Von Miller wash. What did he do last night? Get another sack. I mean, they're built. They're playing. They play hard week in and week out, and they still will get healthier throughout the year. So they're clicking on all cylinders right now. Kincaid showed up. Keon Coleman even had a big play. Shakir, I think he'll continue to be kind of Josh Allen's number one target. But it's not like coming in as a defense, you can say, all right, let's take away Diggs. Let's take away this guy. Like the run game with Cook under this Joe Brady call offense has been great. And Josh Allen, you mentioned, just being free, just letting it fly. And when you're playing, when you get that Josh Allen experience, obviously it's going to be a ton of good, sprinkling a little bad here. You haven't seen much bad early on, so it's great right now. Everything looks great.
Yeah, we haven't seen the turnover machine.
No.
You know, which is
take care of it.
He'll lead the league in touchdowns, and then he'll have the most amount of turnovers as well. And it's like, well, that's Josh Allen football. You're going to play with that for what he's going to create. But now he's not forcing anything anywhere, seemingly.
Yeah.
Just allowed to kind of, and by allowed, and I think a lot of people said, He took a shot at Stephon Diggs afterwards whenever he said everybody's just not worried about stats or anything like that. I don't think just because he says that he's taking a shot at somebody else. But whenever you have somebody as talented as Stephon Diggs, game plan is get ball to person. Why do you have him on your team if you're not going to get him the ball?
Yeah.
And obviously everybody talks about the tension and the potential, negative reaction from a wide receiver if he doesn't get the ball enough. Quarterbacks know that everybody knows that. We talked to Aaron Rodgers, he said, got to get the ball to 5. Got to get the ball to Garrett. Well, every quarterback knows, got to get ball. If you have a guy who is different than everybody else, you're going to try to get him the ball more. I mean, that's just naturally going to take place. So whenever that person's gone, and then now it's just like, okay, best playmaker on team. Okay. So like who do I want to get ball to as opposed to who do I have to get a ball is a very fascinating, freeing feeling. And once again, I don't think that's a shot at Stephon Diggs. I think that's just him accepting what the reality of the situation is and being very happy about it.
And he needed that early on in his career because you saw his numbers and his development before Stephon showed up. When you can show when you have a guy who every time in one-on-one situation, he's going to get open. He's going to win a one-on-one matchup unless the defense has to shift guys, have to roll up and put 2 guys on him, and that helps.
So you got the gist of it. So the gist of it is this. I right to it, man. Josh Allen taking a sneak diss? Is he sneak dissing our guy, Stephon Diggs? Or was he purely talking? Listen, I'm just talking facts. The facts are this. I don't have somebody in my ear saying, yo, I need my stats, man. I need my 1,000. Right? Like any given Sunday when Shark was like, I need my sack. All right. When LL Cool J was like, yo, I need my 1,000 yards. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're talking about, Crozier. You know what I'm saying? When he was going back and forth with the offensive coordinator, right? There's a whole lot of that was happening potentially when Stephon Diggs was in Buffalo. So is he taking a shot? Is he sneak dissing? Or is he just purely talking facts, man? That's just what it is, man.
Nah, no. Having covered Josh for the amount of time that we've been here, he's just not that type of guy. He wouldn't subliminally do that in any way.
Really?
Like
you don't think he's petty enough?
Oh, he petty. Like, let's not get it twisted. I know he puts on a good front like some golden boy. He got the most. He'll talk the most trash in the league. My boy got some spice to him.
Right.
But he wouldn't do that in that manner. But what I truly think, and McAfee hit on it a little bit, and having been in the locker room with some All-American receivers. Receiver is the one position in sports, or in football, where you rely on literally the other 10 players on the field for you to do your job. So there is going to be some diva, some prima donna to it, and it's something that you just accept when you got one of those dudes. Like, and there's nothing bad about it. Like anyone who's ever played football, you accept it for what it is because you need them boys, and it's not bad at all. Like, don't get it twisted. I will take Justin Jefferson 30 times out of 30. I don't care if he argued 40 times for the damn rock.
Right.
But what makes the Bills unique, they got a bunch of younger guys who either A, don't know they good yet, or B, haven't got paid yet, and they don't feel like their paycheck requires them to have the ball that much. That's the difference here, because don't get it twisted. I know it sounds great that, like, I don't get the ball here, I don't get the ball there.
Right.
But let Keon Coleman feel like he that boy. You think he gonna want to look around the league and see a Marvin Harrison shining, and seeing Malik Neighbor shining, and seeing a Roma Dunze shine? Of course he'll want to eat.
Brian Thomas Jr. shining. Yeah,
correct. Like, it's human nature to feel it. Like McConkey's doing this thing out there in Los Angeles with the Chargers.
Absolutely.
It's human nature to feel that way. Like, I don't think there's anything negative with that. But when you're the quarterback, it is freeing when it is that situation, and the talent is good enough to where you don't feel like you're carrying a bunch of scrubs. So I think that's the unique experience, because Khalil Shakir is a 5th-round guy, hasn't been the dude. But don't get it twisted. If in 2 years Khalil Shakir gets paid, Khalil Shakir ain't going for one target a game. Let's not get stupid here for a second, everybody.
I got to say this, and you're probably right, because Josh Allen is a super intelligent person. He carefully watches what he says. He is absolutely careful about what comes out of his mouth, what is said, how it's said. I personally think there was a little, now, intentional or not.
Okay.
That's fair.
That's fair.
That is, to me, I think it's fair. Intentional or not, that was, I don't even call it a shot. He's just, to me, speaking facts. It just happened to be straight. And if you caught that straight, you felt like it was for you, then it was for you. But I wasn't trying to dig you out. I wasn't trying to throw shade on you. It's just what it is. It is, like you said. I love that you said it's freeing. Not have to say, all right, 14's over here. All right, I got to make sure I'm looking there first. And then man, I can just play ball.
Like, do we not see what Joe Burrow just dealt with Jamar Chase, and how many times Jamar Chase got the ball yesterday?
Yeah.
Like Jamar Chase was like, bro, I need the rock, and he got the rock. Do we not hear what AJ Brown says in Philly? Like, hey, bro, I need the rock. Like, so those dudes don't become those dudes by just by fitting in with everyone else. They become those dudes by getting the rock. You feel? Yeah. So like, I'm not mad at anyone, whoever feels like as a fan perspective, you just want to win. You don't care if you got an alpha or 5 dudes who just unselfish. But objectively speaking here, like, receivers need to whine. Like, that's in their nature. And I say this as a DB who don't like them boys. Like, it is
for real, right? That's a fact. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's what it comes down to. So for me, intentional or not, the message was put out there. Let's just put it that way. A message was sent. And right now, let me put it this way, man. If you're Stephon Diggs, you're watching that game. Are you kind of like, nah, I'm good where I'm at. I ain't tripping. Or are you kind of look like, man, we could have been that duo, or did just time just run its course?
Time ran its course, and I mean, but you can't force an alpha personality like him, which makes him great. The alpha part of him is what makes him a great receiver.
Yep.
Telling him to just take a step back and just fit in with everyone else, that's just
beneath him. He can't do it.
I mean, think about some of your best basketball players ever when they start to transition and they don't fall off, but they're maybe not quite in their apex like they used to be.
Right.
They're not coming off the bench, or they're not coming off that rock. Like, they need to feel like they're still involved. So no, like, time ran its course. Yeah, thank you. Like, and he's not the Westbrook. He's not the current Westbrook part of his career, but
right.
Like,
he's accepting now. He's accepting where he's gonna have to come off the bench, kind of like a Melo, accepting to kind of come off the bench. So I get it. And it's a great point to make. But to me, at the end of the day, whether shot taken or not, the message is put out there
for sure.
And my man's is cooking right now. He's doing well. He's got no interceptions. What another way to look at it. And which brings me right into Josh Allen. We gotta bring our guy into it because he's the man of the hour. Josh Allen. Fam, question is this. Is it far too soon to be talking about MVP conversation? Because that's all we're hearing. And this is a real question because I find myself talking about, yo, this guy's the MVP already. Bro, we're only week 3. We're not even in October yet. We're not even in the month of November where real football starts to count and you start to separate yourself. Or, yo, we're 3 weeks in and he's looking at it. He's looking at it. Is there a threshold as to when you can start having these conversations? Is it far too soon to be crowning him MVP? Only week 3 going into week 4.
Well, people be talking about MVPs in the offseason. So, like, I don't really, like,
that
the offseason be like, oh, like, he MVP. So, like, is it too soon to say that he's going to win it? Yeah, but, I mean, is he the front, like, leader in the clubhouse? For sure. Some of that has to do with the fact that some of the usual suspects that you would maybe assume to be up there have slumped out the gates. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is a superb player, all-time great, but he hasn't looked like himself the first 2 weeks. Even Dak Prescott has stumbled a little bit. Joe Burrow, although played great last night. Same thing with Lamar Jackson, played great yesterday. But, like, so some of the usual suspects haven't played well, but let's not CJ Stroud. But don't get it twisted. What 17 has done outside of Miami, which is out of his control because they just whooped tail from snap 1 to the end.
Yep.
He's looking like, if I don't like comparing 17 and 15 a lot because, you know, Bills Mafia and Chiefs Kingdom get their feelings hurt about it. But, like, for those at home, if you want to go back to Mahomes in 2022, the first year without Tyreek Hill and how much command he had of that offense. And Mahomes still put up like 4,900, I believe, 4,800 if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
He won the MVP, and it wasn't a knock on Tyreek Hill because Tyreek Hill is still that boy. But he seemed like he took his level of game up here to another level. And I think through 3 games, we've seen Josh take it to another level up here. And that's really, really scary. He's going to still have his golden retriever moments. Let's not act like he just got them all out the way. He's going to have those, especially against defenses.
A golden retriever moment.
Yeah,
I like that.
He's going to have his moments like that. But I think what he's done to elevate in that department, scary hours for sure.
It's absolutely scary. And right now, and it says, I think we've all made this observation where Josh feels to me like, I mean, the way he threw for 263 yards, right? And he was just playing ball. It didn't even feel like he threw for 263. It felt like it was way more. That's how much he was dialing. He was just dialed in, and he was putting up points. And it gave me, I'm not trying to compare the two, but it reminded me a little bit of Tom Brady, where Tom Brady didn't need a bona fide star, right? Although he had Gronkowski, and Gronkowski was that dude, but it was everybody eats, everybody gets a shot. You get some, you get some. When he really wants to make it count, Gronk will be the guy he goes to. And I think that it's going to be a shared responsibility, obviously, between, in my opinion, Kincaid and Khalil, right?
Correct. Yes.
Double K, right? Those boys are going to be the ones that he can depend on. And what a beautiful thing to have it at, because you got two guys full of humility, young, like you said, young in the game. They don't know, I'm not saying they don't know their worth yet, because they haven't got that Boku money where they can say, all right, man.
No, that's exactly what it is. They're young and don't know their worth yet. That's exactly what it is.
So I guess is what it is. I'm not trying to be nice, but they're young and they don't know yet. They don't know yet, right? So right now, Josh is reaping the benefits of, these young guys that just want to, make a name for themselves. And that's the best way to put it. They're trying to make a name for themselves, so they're going to do everything we can to be in the system. Now, when that time comes, in my last year of my contract,
that's a problem for next year or year after that.
Exactly. That is a problem for next year. But what we talk about, that's exactly what they're going to be doing. And the worst part is they're going to be coming back to back to back. Back to back, man. Was Kincaid? No, Kincaid came after. But it's going to be like back to back. So good problem to have, but we don't got to cross that bridge anytime soon. So let's enjoy what we got right now. But right now, Josh Allen can't ask for a better situation. Run game is working. O-line is blocking. I'm getting along famously with my offensive coordinator. Fam, is looking good. And then you have other teams that are struggling mightily, where you're like, what is going on? I'm looking at your Cleveland Browns. Man, what's going on with Cleveland, bro? Yo, I'm like, Deshaun Watson is just a shell of himself. He's not himself. It's not. Is he? It's a wrap. It's not the same. Are we never gonna get that Deshaun back?
At this point, I think it's 99% sure that's the case. We haven't seen that Deshaun since 2021. I think we had a different president at that point or whatever. But it's been a while, and I don't know what happened. Yips, sip, whatever the case may be. He just hasn't been the same guy. The situation this year isn't great, but quite frankly, when you make as much money as he does, you're not going to feel sympathy from outsiders. Like we just spoke about with Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
So it's just not looking good. And I think that I will say, though, if you want to talk about teams just throughout the league that have kind of struggled, the one thing that I do see is a lack of physicality and stoutness in the trenches. And what I mean by that is the Bills have been able to play on their terms on both sides of the ball because they've solidified things up front. The reason why they can sit all day and run the ball and Josh Allen can go 1 to 2 to 3, back to 1, over to 2, because the offensive line has played stupendous. It's probably the best unit in football, and I'm not being hyperbole when I say that. And then the defensive line has done their part as well. But you look at the Bengals, they very leaky run defense. Look at the Browns, they can't run the ball for crap. The Dolphins have one of the worst trenches I think I've ever seen on both sides of the ball. Some of that has to do with injuries on defense. The Cowboys, golly, my Syracuse Orange can run on them. So you look at some of these teams around the league, they kind of lost their way in some of the pizzazz and forgot that, listen, at the end of the day, this game is about whooping another man. And
absolutely.
And the Bills can do that up front.
That's exactly right. Let me get your thoughts on this, because as a former DB, and I'm sure you can still put the pads on and get out there and play with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? You might have to stretch a little bit, but there was this conversation going around about the league not scoring as much, not putting enough points on the board. The scoring is low, right? What's caused this low? And then this seems to be what's happening, right? And let me fix that up a little bit. But what say you with this conversation about this too high safety look that's just got the league by storm, right? Nobody can, we're not able to do that because it's too high safety look. And is it Mel Kiper? Mel Kiper decided to say, you know what? Ban it. Outlaw it. Doesn't need to be in our game anymore. The nerve. Explain to me the too high safety look, right? For those that don't know ball, for those that are like, okay, for those that don't get it, explain the too high safety look. And what is it that's so effective about it that's got conversations like this happening? I mean, I'm putting you on the spot here.
No, you're not putting me in the spot because I've been waiting to get this off my chest for like
hold on
year and a half
before
now.
you do, because whenever things got to get off someone's chest, I mean, I got everything for that. But think about your response, and then when you return, let me know what your thoughts on that. Say it with your chest, baby. What you got?
Okay, first and foremost, this too high look is not new. All right, it's called Tampa 2. Do y'all not understand like the origins of some of this stuff where Tampa Bay, back when they were doing their thing in the early 2000s, they would literally sit in two high safety shells with John Lynch on one side. We can even go back to even the 1970s with the steel curtain and all this stuff. That, like, this has been a long thing. This isn't brand new where they just popped it out a couple years ago. Like anything else in football, things come in cycles and waves. You know, just about 10 years ago, the Legion of Boom with their single high safety with Earl Thomas roaming in the middle of the field was the meta around the league. Everyone wanted to duplicate that. Things have changed. Things go in cycles. For those at home, a too high safety look, it is what it is. It is what the term basically says. Your two safeties are out there in the parking lot. They are deep. They're keeping everything in front of them. You do that to deter explosive plays, deep passing plays. The Bills run some of those looks at the highest rate in the league, and they've done so probably over the past 2 or 3 years. And you do it to deter those plays, and you tell a team you have to matriculate the ball down the field. We're going to expect you to be perfect. Having said that, there are a multitude of reasons as to why scoring is down. Some of that has to do with the fact that we just came off of a golden age of quarterbacks from like 2013 to like 2019. We truly did. Like, this isn't like quarterbacks were better 30 years ago or 20 years ago or like 15. We truly just, like any other era of sports where you just get lucky, we truly did, where it was Tom Brady, Peyton Manning at the tail end of the Broncos thing. We had Aaron Rodgers. We had Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Early Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson.
Throw Phillip Rivers in there, man.
Phillip Rivers was in there. We truly had a golden age. And I'm not saying back in my day, but like any other era in sport, there are some of those situations, and that's how it is. Like point guards right now in the NBA, it's just so many of them, right? Same thing as quarterback during that era. So some of that has to do with that. The fact that the defenses are getting more creative in terms of their simulated pressures and how they're bringing heat. I mean, some of the creative stuff that the Bills do in the third and long, I'm like, y'all don't have a chance. No chance.
It's amazing, man.
No chance. And they're able to pick up like, hey, I know that the offensive line wants to slide this way with this look, so we're going to make you think we're doing this, but really we're coming over here. Like the Cam Lewis and Jamarcus Ingram sack yesterday. Defenses are getting more creative in that regard. Some of that has to do with the fact that rookie quarterbacks are now thrown into the fire earlier than ever. Like some of it has to do with the fact that some teams aren't well equipped to run against some of those too high looks. Because if you think about it, it's simple math. If you're taking one of your safeties and throwing them in the parking lot, you have a numbers advantage to run the ball, and some teams aren't well equipped to do that. I say all that to say, can y'all please stop saying y'all mad at this or mad at that. Bruh, y'all weren't mad when the Bucks won a whole Super Bowl like this a couple years ago.
Talk about it.
So I digress. It irritates my soul. It is not just a one thing as to why scoring is down. It is a whole bunch of things like anything else in life. And I hate to break it to all y'all who like scoring. Y'all going to have to deal with it until offenses figure out their creative sauce to clap back. I digress.
Boom. And that's how you nail it. And you know what? Fam, you killed it, first of all, and I'm gonna clip that, and I'm gonna, you know what's gonna happen with that one. But more importantly, a lot of these things that are happening right now is like trends. There's trends, right? There was the trend when Miami came out with that freaking Wildcat look. Everybody was over the moon, like, oh, the Wildcat. Ronnie Brown is just all over the place. Why is he in the backfield? What's going on? Is he run? It was a whole thing, and then that got taken away. The jet sweep was a little bit too. That got listen. Defenses get smarter. Offenses get smarter. But really and truly, is it a matter of these offensive coordinators just are they like you said, a lot of the I guess the golden age of quarterbacks is gone. Have the same thing happen with these offensive coordinators, or is just a new wave? They just got to figure that out. We're still
got to figure it out, like, because there are some offensive coordinators who have no problem with it. But I think
for sure
when you take some of these quarterbacks who grew up on a certain system, what they saw in college, and you try to mesh and blend the two, they don't see as many too high cover shells in college. It's just a whole bunch of like, because let's not get it twisted. we witnessed Drew Brees and Tom Brady and all these great quarterbacks matriculate the ball down the field. I have no problem doing it. Some of these guys just aren't as comfortable doing so, and that's all that is, man. Like, obviously, OCs need some blame for this too. Like, everybody involved. But like this whole, it's this new thing that we've never seen before. Yeah,
knock it off.
Y'all killing me with this.
Well, listen, I like where your energy is at right now because I got something else for you. So I'm seeing something that's been going on several years, and I think it's more of a, what can you do for me right now because I want instant success, right? Quarterbacks seem to be at the forefront of this right now, young quarterbacks specifically. Are teams ruining these young quarterbacks, right? We just saw Bryce Young, right? The prime example, Bryce Young. And they start him his rookie season, and then he's going into year 2. If they don't like what they see, Canales is like, I saw enough from you. You're out of here. Andy Dalton comes in, has great success, upset, and now we're in a situation where we're like, all right, is this guy going to get traded? And what's going on? So I asked this question for this reason, especially with this Bryce Young situation and others. Why get these guys in under the fire right off the bat, right? And I know I get it. Get them in the game now so he can understand it, so he can develop. But like, what happened to just sitting? Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, just sit, learn a little something, see the nuances. Right now, I think Michael Penix is in the best position possible, right? But then you guys have A.R. Richardson, just right now. Anthony Richardson, right now, struggling. He's getting through it, but he's struggling. Bryce Young, benched, right? I'm trying to think of another young quarterback right now that's struggling right now. I can't think of it. Will Levis, struggling. So should the league go back to like, yo, let these veterans kind of jump in here and let the young guys just kind of work your way in? But then head coaches are like, bro, I need to win now. Because if I don't win now, I'm out of here. So this whole conundrum, what do you see? Is this something that's going to keep going, or it's just a matter of we need to just get back to the golden age where some of these quarterbacks are just going to have to just grow up, baptized by fire? I hate that terminology, and then go from there. What say you on these young quarterback situation and ruining them, if you will? I don't know if I'm saying the right term, but what are your thoughts on that?
It's such a tough conversation because I don't think every situation applies to everyone. Like, knowing what we know about Patrick Mahomes and what he said about his rookie year, my man couldn't like read the defense. He objectively he needed to sit. He said that, and it's crazy. The next year he throws for 50 touchdowns.
Right.
But he was the guy who said he needed to sit. He said that. But then there are other guys like C.J. Stroud last year hits the ground running. So I don't think there's a blanket statement saying, hey, young guys sit, young guys play. But I will say one of the reasons why you are seeing young guys thrown into the fire here, and stay with me here, everybody, is because of the advantages you get with a quarterback on a rookie quarterback. And that changed in around, I believe, 2011 or 2012, where when the quarterbacks used to come into the league, they were getting massive contracts. I know y'all remember Sam Bradford, who I believe got like a huge deal. So you don't get the fact that he's a cheap quarterback and you don't build around that. He's a guy now, so you'll sit him. You don't have no problem with it. But when he's cheap, as a GM, you're telling yourself, we have a window to really build a Super Bowl contender around this guy.
Okay.
So let's find out right now if he's a dude, because we really don't have time to wait. We need to figure it out right now. And I think the Packers are unique in the fact that they've done it twice, once with Aaron Rodgers and once with Jordan Love. However, the Packers never saw the benefit of a rookie contract with Jordan Love because he already got paid. Like, Jordan Love is paid now. They never saw the benefit of it.
For sure.
So that's some of it. Because if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, for example, Justin Fields is cheap right now. It's cool. Like, I can figure it out. Like, throw him out there. If he can't play, oh well, we'll get another cheap dude. So that's a lot of it. Anthony Richardson is unique because he didn't play in college really either. So like, how much sitting does really help him? Like, he needs to play at some point.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's weird with Anthony Richardson. It's just like he doesn't look ready, but like, bruh ain't played. He played like 10 games in college. So it's a tough situation, case by case. I think like most guys will benefit from it, but some dudes figure it out.
Some dudes, I mean, they got no choice but to figure out. Let me ask you this last one before I let you go, and I appreciate your time. Obviously, listen, folks, how dare I? We are sitting with our guy, Carl Jones, coming from our News for Buffalo. What up, B? I got you. So, listen, before I let you go, I got to ask you this question, man. So we're talking about quarterbacks, we're talking about young players, and Pittsburgh comes to mind. And right now they're in a tough spot. Justin Fields, which was supposed to be the backup, has these boys at 3-0 on the backs of their strong defense and Mike Tomlin coach. Mike Tomlin, one of my favorite coaches in the game, right? His sayings are unbelievable. Anyway, so these guys are 3-0. Pittsburgh is on top of the AFC North. That's not something I saw coming. Russell Wilson's about to get healthy. He's probably healthy now. What do you do? Do you just keep rolling with Justin Fields, or you say, hey, man, thank you for holding it down. We're going to give it to, the old vet and keep it pushing?
That's a spot that I don't envy, because I'm sure that when they signed him, they made some promises. Let's not be naive here. Like, hey, you can be the guy here. Like, we'll might be just be for a year, but we'll give you an opportunity. And then I'm sure when they signed trade for Justin Fields after they signed Russ, they probably told him, don't worry about it. He'll develop under you. But then obviously injuries happen, things of that nature. And Mike Tomlin, if there's anyone in this league that knows how to work a locker room and people, he is in a class by his own. Full stop. No disrespect to Sean McDermott, who I think is also excellent in that department. All the evidence I need, my man had Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, and AB in the same locker room, and somehow they didn't combust. So, Mike Tomlin, you in your own class.
For sure.
I say all that to say, I think he'll figure it out, because he's the greatest people person there is, but I don't envy that spot. Because you're in that locker room, you're like, hey, bro, we 4-0. Like, why we going to homeboy? Like, no, we going to the boy who got us here. And even though he's not playing stellar or anything,
right?
All as a player, you care about his dubs. Like that's for us on the outside to tell who's playing great or playing not, So, and you say trade him. I saw that. I mean, unless Miami won or something, I don't know. But there's not a lot of teams who will want Russ in that department.
Okay, so next quarterback situation, and then that's it for me. So you mentioned it slightly, Miami. That quarterback situation is awful. You got a whole bunch of luxury cars in the garage, but anybody can drive these cars. That's the best way I can put it. Nobody has a license to drive these cars. It's just too much for them to handle. So, Miami is in a world of hurt right now, man. They got nothing. Like Tim Boyle, man. Talk to me on Miami, my guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it brief, but it's tough. Like, unless Ryan Tannehill come calling, they're in a really rough spot, because although I don't think Tua Tagovailoa is the greatest quarterback on the planet, he's above average, and he's a good conductor of what they ask of him in that offense. For sure. And I think that's fair to say. But it's not when people say you can just throw anybody in there, whatever. Also, he is right. I've been on Kaz, how do you pronounce your name?
They do.
Like I mentioned, their trenches are atrocious. So I know Tua's not great, but they're not going anywhere just based off of how they lack physicality up there. Having said that, above average quarterback, but backup is 65th, and that's the issue there. If they had 33, 35, I think they can stay above water. But they go from 15 quarterback to 68, and that's the issue there. That's
a big issue, man. Miami's in a world of trouble. They're in a world of hurt, and you got my fantasy team is struggling. I got Tyreek. Tyreek can't do nothing. CJ Stroud, he's supposed to be balling. He ain't doing nothing right now. It's killing me. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Carl Jones came through, handled business. He's got tacos to go to. I held him. The tacos are gonna be cold right now. I appreciate Leah for holding it down for my mans. Listen, Carl Jones from News 4 Buffalo. Talk to me. Tell me what you got coming. What's next on the agenda? Where we going next? Talk to me.
Yeah, as y'all always know, I'm going to be chatting about my DBs. Work on some stuff about Christian Benford. Working on a story with them, him and Rasul Douglas, working on that this week as well. Nice. I'm biased. Y'all know that. Oh, well, too bad. If y'all want stuff on offensive linemen, there are a bunch of content creators who are good for that. Not me. But that good stuff, follow me on X at Jones11_. And if y'all ever want to chat or just ask anything about that position, the secondary, be my guest. I will answer any questions that I can provide the answer for.
Love every bit of it, man. Yo, give a shout out to my guy, Carl Jones. If you guys have not followed Carl Jones, how dare I? Carl Jones at Jones11_. Hit him up. I don't know why my thing is at Reek the Freak, but I should definitely be changing that up. But ladies and gentlemen, shout out to my guy Carl Jones. Charles, listen, man, we're gonna keep this going. If you're available Tuesdays, we're gonna try to keep this rolling again. Get you back on there and talk Bills, Fabi. Listen, we're hoping that these Bulls can clear out September, go 4-0. We got the Ravens next. That's a big matchup now. That's a big matchup.
I can't wait for it. Be a good game to talk about. Can't wait for it.
Yo, tell my boy Christian Bedford to get ready because I need that. And next time you talk to him, be like, yo, I'm a biggest fan. Yo, send me that jersey, bro. I need that. Anyway, my boy Carl Jones, we'll definitely keep in touch, my man. We'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, be easy.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my guy, Carl Jones, coming through in the clutch. And proud of him too, man, because, man, I mean, if you saw the growth, man, this boy is popping on that Twitter, man. He's got great engagement. So if you have not followed him, go ahead. He's a great follow. He's putting down stuff. He's getting interviews. He's doing it right now. So big shout out to my guy, Carl. Just a couple things before we do take off. The good, the bad, the ugly. We got to talk about that. I wanted to get my guy Carl's opinion on, you know what I mean, who deserves to be on the milk carton. And I struggled with this, folks. I struggled. I tried to leave it alone. Who do I put on this milk carton alert? And I'm going to put a name on here. And it's not because this player we're asking where he's at and what are you doing, right? But I'd like to see more of this player. And you've heard me say it before, and I'm going to say it again. Richie, you already know what time it is, man. And this is no disrespect to my Brooklyn cat. Yo, but I need more. I need to see more Curtis Samuel, man. I'd love to see more Curtis Samuel. And I see what Joe Brady was doing. I appreciate what Joe Brady was doing. And I get it. There's a pecking order, right? You got big names on the squad. But for the money that we pay Curtis Samuel, and it's not his fault. It's absolutely not his fault. All right. But for the money that we're paying this brother $8 million a year. I think it what, 24 mil? He's getting good money now. And I gotta say, I'd love to see more of him. Not because I think he's a bum and he ain't doing anything. I know it's about when your number's called. And Joe Brady did an absolute great job of trying to get him involved. I saw it. We all saw it. I think he had 6 touches in this game. Let me just go back to make sure I got this right. I think he had about 6 touches in this game. Let me just make sure I'm correct on that. But I'd like to see a lot more of Curtis Samuel because he's explosive. When the ball's in his hands, he can do work. And I would just like to see a lot more from our guy, Mr. Curtis Samuel. He had 3 targets, and I think he had 1 carry, right? So 4 touches. If we can get that up to about 7, and it's tough because everybody's got to get their chance, and I know it's going to happen, but 7 touches to 8 touches, and let him do what he's got to do. But this is a far improvement from what it was the game before, where he was an afterthought. So Curtis Samuel, I want to see a little bit more from my guy Curtis Samuel because I know how good he can be for this team. I know how great he can be for this team. But everybody's got their moment, right? This was Khalil Shakir's game again, and I don't mind it. That's how it should be. This was a little bit of Kincaid's game. I don't mind because he deserves it, and we need that, right? We got a little bit of Keon Coleman action. He didn't get a lot of playing time at first. Why? Because that brother was late for class. Hey, man, you can't be late showing up to practice. You can't be late showing up to, film room because they're going to discipline your ass. And we can't have that, bro. I don't want to see MVS trotting out there. No disrespect. You know what I mean? I want to see Keon Coleman out there. I want to see my guy Khalil out there. I want to see Kincaid. I want to see what this offense is supposed to look like naturally. But that's neither here nor there. But I'd love to see a little bit more of Curtis Samuel, not because he's a bum, not at all in that case. I would just like to see the ball in his hands because I think he's great. I think he'd be a great asset to this team. I think he is a great asset. We just got to find the niche. We just got to find. I know we're 3 weeks in. We're still trying to figure out who could do what and at what capacity. And it's coming. And I'm sure it's coming. And this might be the game where he goes toe-to-toe with Zay Flowers, right? Zay does some. Here comes Curtis Samuel. I don't know. We'll see. But I like how we're doing things. I like how things are flowing. The Bills are 3-0, and we'll absolutely take it. The Bills 3-0 is the way I want to end my week and it's the way I want to start my week on Victory Tuesday. So that's what it is, man. So, folks, much love and appreciate you, man. If you guys haven't had a chance to go ahead and download that app I've been telling you about, me and Zeba, I've been talking about it. Autograph. Go ahead and jump on that autograph. Gain your points. Engage with the app. This actually gives you an opportunity. I just got an offer for ticket prices and how cheap they would be compared to others by putting in the work on this app. It's nuts. Guess what? YouTube. You want to get all the content that you get from your articles to your favorite content creators. Everything is on the app. And all you got to do is use the code Buffalo Fanatics to get your perks. Don't sleep on it, folks. Don't sleep on it. You have an opportunity. Jump all over it. So as we get into the tail end of the show, and I appreciate every one of you guys. You guys are tuning in right now. Do me a favor. Smash that like if you guys are here. If you guys have not followed and you guys are like, man, I'm new to this channel. What's going on with this? Find out a little bit more. Follow the channel. Smash that like. We're at 28,000 followers. We want to try to gain up to 29. And once we get to 29, let's bump up to 30. The goal is to get to 30, but we got to take baby steps. We got to take some baby steps now. So that being said, we appreciate you all tuning in and joining your boy. This week is going to be a little bit of a different week because there's something special going on Friday. My boy Z-Bot is getting married. So I'll be on the road. I think tomorrow, I think we get on the road sometime tomorrow and we driving and we're going to be heading over there to Z-Bot's wedding to celebrate him. And, you know what I mean? To have a good union, man. So hopefully we take some good pics together. The crew's going to be together. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Getting in there and we have a good time. So you will not see us on a show unless I do an impromptu show in the car as I'm going. But I doubt I'm going to do that because that bandwidth, that American-Canadian bandwidth, I mean, they charge us up the yin-yang, so I ain't going to do that. But we'll wait till we get into maybe some Wi-Fi. But anyway, that being said, won't be any shows this coming end of the week. We got our shows in. We'll be doing the wedding on Friday. Maybe we get together. We do a little something. My man P-Money's going to be there. All the boys are going to be there. So we'll try to make something happen. But the next time you see us, you probably see us together taking pictures, and then we back at it again this coming week against the Ravens. It's going to be a good one. Boy, is it ever going to be a good one. So, folks, I appreciate you guys. You guys have been great. Jump in there and smash that like. If you haven't smashed that like, you better smash that thing right now. And, yeah, man, Z-Bot's getting married, boy. Let's go. What crazy. So, folks, enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. And if there's an impromptu news that happens, you know we're going to be doing it live, baby. So, we'll see you guys again game time. Until next time, it's your boy Rico. It's the Buffalo Fanatics. We'll catch you guys on the flip. It's your boy, and I'm gone. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you Friday. Wedding time. Let's go.
Rico going live, talking to my people, cause the team's driven like West Hurt. Other teams can't, it's a repo. The opponents gotta call up Triple O. Bills Mafia, we heating up, we too electrical. We got Bean the Plug, electric show. We wired up, hit up Rico, he fired up. We know where we stand on the power ranking. Other teams fans in the comments hating, we block them all. We protecting Josh. Salute to him, he the general now. Rico got legends for interviews. How the Buffalo Bills got the best fan base away game. Red, white, blue in the crowd. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. Play good, be humble. Number 17, the captain. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic. I'm a Buffalo fanatic.